Hey guys, we are back with some more Vegas Golden Knights Eastside Hockey Manager, and in this one, we got a couple of changes to make because one thing I failed to point out in the last one, your Vegas Golden Knights have a penalty kill of 62%. That is kind of, even though we're first in the conference, you don't like to see that. And it's probably what's killing the save percentage of Jim Reimer. So what I'm going to do, first of all, I'm going to take Todd Corsi out of there because his morale is at very low right now. I don't know how much that has to do with the simulation, but he's a -1. He's only a 687. He hasn't improved too much over the course of the season. He's played 53 games. And one thing I would like to do is get Nick Hogg sometime because he's only played 5 games this season. And if we do want to end up trading him at any point, because he's already 23 and he hasn't exactly impressed, we do have to get him some games before the trade deadline. And even if we don't trade him, it'd still be good to get him some games. So we're going to get Hogg in there. And then the next thing I'm going to do, related to the penalty kill, is we are going to change the practice focus from power play and general to penalty kill. I'm only going to focus on power play at 10% and general at 20%, and then put everything else into penalty kill because we are struggling there for right now. Yeah, okay, that's good. And the last thing I'm going to do that's related to the penalty kill, I will go into the free agency list, and we are going to go after Zach Hyman because he is pretty good defensively. There he's got that 85 for positioning. Poke check is at 78. Anticipation is at 75. Work rate's at 95. So he looks like he'll be a pretty solid defensive player. His average rating isn't the greatest, but I'll take a chance on him if it's only for a 1-year deal. He does want to be a core player, but he's only asking for a 1-year deal at 1.5, so there's not much harm in offering this to Zach Hyman. If only for a rental, And if we want to re-sign him, we can. So let's try to get Zach Hyman on this team, and I'm thinking he will end up replacing William Carrier because Carrier hasn't exactly been impressing me. He's not bad. He's at a 698. But he's just kind of been one of those passengers this year. He's at 17 points with 53 games played. So he's producing some offense for being on the fourth line. And his average rating isn't terrible. But that being said, he's not, he is not impacting the game as much as even, let's say, Alan Lazaro or Carl Forss. Because even though their average ratings are less, first of all, Alan Lazaro and Carl Forss are good prospects of ours, and Carrier is already 27. Lazaro's 22, Forss is 22 as well, and we have to get these guys some ice time, and they're getting points, and they look to have a bright future, both of them, because Lazaro has improved over last year, and Forss, for it being his rookie season, 667, isn't that bad, especially with the 9 games that he had last year. He was only at 633. So he's definitely shown improvement as well. So I want to keep both of them in the lineup, and we would scratch William Carrier for Zach Hyman once he signs. So let's get on with the rest of the season here. As we are in February, I would like to get through the rest of the regular season so we can make our way to the playoffs next episode. Lapalainen resumes light practice. There you go. So he should be back hopefully within a week. So I got to remember to dress him once he is ready. And I believe Hudson Fasching is also injured at the moment. So Smith set for a new home? Absolutely not. He is our captain, and he has been amazing so far. Krug, why is all this happening? I have no idea. We are not even close to the salary cap ceiling right now, and we're first in the conference, and apparently it's being suggested that there are people being shipped out, but no, there are not, at least in terms of those players. Artemi Panarin injured for a week with a thigh contusion in practice. That is unfortunate for us. So hopefully he's not out for, he is obviously not out for too long. It said for a week, but that is still a big injury for the Vegas Golden Knights for a couple of games there. So we're going to have to replace our first line right winger there. We're going to have to call someone up, because I don't feel like double shifting anybody at the moment. I'd rather give some young guys the experience. So let's take a look at the AHL here. Kenneth Torma. He's played 51 games, only has 8 points, so he's definitely a defensive forward. We need an offensive forward as we lost one of our best offensive forwards. So Lucas Summers has 26 points. Nick Suzuki has 53. So I guess I'll give Suzuki another chance. He didn't play too well for us last year, 648. But he's playing well down here in the AHL this year, so we'll give him another shot. And we will dress him. He's not getting on the first line. I'll film him there for right now, but we are going to move him down. Where's Suzuki? There you are. I guess I'll put Marchessault on the first line, and then Suzuki will go on the third line with Lazaro and Carrier. And that'll be good. How many games has Reimer played in a row? Only 4, so yeah, we'll leave him in. And yeah, again, unfortunate injury to Artemi Panarin, but he should be back very soon. We'll see how Suzuki does in this game against the Blackhawks. That is an unfortunate 5-4 overtime loss to the 15th place team in the Western Conference. Who are 21-35-1. So that was brutal. So let's see. Smith, Reiko Pulkkinen, Smith, and Krug with the goals. Doesn't look like Suzuki had any points in that game, so not off to a great start. This year is Nick Suzuki. Career milestone for Teemu Pulkkinen, 300th NHL game. What a beast. Braden Holtby is the player of the week. Bailey Deal rumored Bruins win over the Devils 4-1, and the Penguins win over the Oilers 5-3. All right, here we go. 6-3 win against the 14th place team in the Western Conference. A good thing we can actually win against some of those teams. Marchessault, Teemu Pulkkinen, Veleno, Teemu Pulkkinen, Smith, and Suzuki with a goal. Very nice. So Teemu Pulkkinen, once again, with a 2-goal performance. Nothing new about that. You shouldn't be shocked at this point. And Hyman accepts Golden Knights' offer. There you go, Zach Hyman. As we just called up Nick Suzuki, and he got a goal. So I'm not sure when exactly Panarin will be coming back, but he looks like he's close. And then Valtteri Lappalainen is still on the IR from his hip flexor strain earlier in January, and Hudson Fasching from the rotator cuff strain. So I would like to get Zach Hyman in there. Carl Fors looks like he's been doing well past few games. Won't scratch him. Alan Lazaro, he hasn't been playing too well there. What was he at before? 677? I'll scratch him for a couple of games. I just want to see what Hyman's about. And if he can help us improve our penalty kill, because it is just god-awful. Okay, so let's see. Hyman, I will... What's your face-offs at? 55? How's Suzuki at face-offs? Yeah, I'll get Suzuki in the middle on that third line, and then Hyman will be with him and Carrier. And then Hyman is going to get on the penalty kill no matter what. We're going to get... Honestly, both Silverberg and Smith are good. I think it was honestly the lack of face-offs on the penalty kill that might have been killing us there, so... but still, Hyman is a relatively good sign to replace William Carrier once everyone is back from injury. So let's see how that works out for us. Yeah, you know what? We'll give him a try anyway on the penalty kill. We'll put, we will put Hyman there instead of Silverberg. So that'll be it for that. Hyman needs a number as well. Does he have a preference? 11. There you go. Okay. So Panarin should be back soon. Let's get Zach Hyman a game against the Minnesota Wild, so this will be a good test for him. We are battling for first with them, so here we go. First period, goal by Luke Kunin. Second period, there you go. Silverberg, Suzuki, and Veleno shorthanded. There you go. That PK change already paying off. Third period, there you go. Reiko and Stefan Larsson. And then Zach Hyman with an assist on the Suzuki goal as well. So there you go. Good signing already. Good changes on the penalty kill. And actually, I want to keep an eye on the penalty kill percentage here, as it was at a 62% before when we started this video. So I do want to keep a constant eye on that. So let's check the league standings. 62.5. Okay. It's getting better. So let's keep going here. Stars with a 4-2 win over the Hurricanes. 3-2 win for the Coyotes of the Sabres. Man, the lawnmowers have been going all day. It's ridiculous. I don't know if you guys can hear them, but hopefully not. But okay, Artemi Panarin is back from injury, so we will get him in there, as he is one of our best best players, obviously. Carl Force, I mean, he's been consistent, at least with the 7 average ratings recently. Carrier, I guess we'll take out Carrier. Even though he's got himself up to a 7, again, he's not doing anything to really impact the simulation that much, you know. Not enough to warrant keeping Panarin out. You can never really warrant keeping Panarin out anyway. So we'll get him back on the first line there. And Marchessault, I guess, with Hyman and Suzuki. Now, do I want Hyman on the left or the right? Is Hyman a righty? Yeah, he is. And then is Marchessault a lefty? No, Marchessault's a righty. So he's the better shooter of the two. I think that'd be Marchessault. Yeah, so we'll get Marchessault on his one-timer since he's the better shooter, and then Hyman on this passing wing. So that would be Marchessault, Suzuki, and Hyman on the third line. There you go. And then that would leave Lazaro and Carrier scratched. I do want to get Lazaro back in there at some point, but while we are winning games, and especially before the trade deadline, I do not want to stunt this team. York actually had a missed penalty shot there. Cam York on a penalty shot. And then Smith from Larson and Miller. Fours from Teemu Pulkkinen and Theodore. Smith from Panarin and Fours and Theodore from Krug and Carlson on the power play. And then in the shootout, Marchessault with the shootout goal. Very nice. And that was against the third place Predators too. So we are further extending our lead to stay in first place. So that is very nice. A 4-3 win for the Blue Jackets over the Panthers, a 4-3 win for the Red Wings of the Stars, and a 3-1 win for the Coyotes over the Flames. And oh wait, is the Olympics of this year. Do we have any more games between... Okay, so we have 3 more games between now and March 1st. And it's only February 11th. So we'll go through the last 3 games here against the Avalanche, Devils, and Blues. Then I'm literally just going to cut everything up until the trade deadline because it's going to take a while to simulate up till there. And there's going to be nothing going on. So there's not going to be any point in showing it. So a 7-3 win against the Avalanche. Carlson, Reiko, Panarin, Krug, Larson, and Silverberg with the goals against the Colorado Avalanche with a 7-3 win. Very nice. Let's hope these next 2 games can be in relatively the same fashion as that one. And speaking of fashion, we have Fasching back from injury. So if I'm not mistaken, Fasching was actually pretty good for us. He has 727 in the 11 games that he's played. So we'll try to get him back in there. Yeah, and we're now over the skater limit, so we're going to have to send back someone, and I guess, yeah, it's got to be Suzuki. He's got a 680. He got those couple of goals, but, yeah, just not in the cards for Suzuki this year, clearly, as Carrier gets back in there. Now, is Carrier good at face, or, not Carrier. Fasching. I don't know what I was thinking there. So, is Fasching any good at face-offs? 46, not really. Oh boy. Yeah, the center issue is kind of huge for us here. So I think what we're going to do... Oh, Stefan Larson. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to move Stefan Larson up to the third line. He's been doing very well for himself on the fourth line there. He deserves a chance on the third. So Marchessault, Larson, and Hyman, and then Fasching, Force, and Teemu Pulkkinen. That looks good. Actually, I'll put Teemu on the left because Fasching's a right winger. I mean, Fasching can play the left wing as well, but not as well as Pulkkinen can, I don't think. Yeah, no. Pulkkinen plays the left wing better than Fasching does. So that new fourth line will be Pulkkinen, Force, and Fasching. There you go. And while Terry Lapalainen is unfortunately still injured, he's been having a phenomenal rookie season for us at a 749 average rating. He should be back very soon, though, as he got injured at around the same time that Fasching did, and he was injured for relatively the same amount of time. So this is actually a very good break here for the Olympics that is coming up here to give our guys a little bit of a rest before March. Larson injured, figures. So he suffered a neck strain for 10 days. Yeah, just the injury bug's biting us. It really is. So we'll get Alan Lazaro back in there. This is a good opportunity to get another center because we obviously need centers here, and Alan Lazaro fits that perfectly, and I wanted to give him some more ice time anyway, as he has been scratched for the past few games. He has not played since Calgary. on the 6th. So, yeah, that'll be it for that. Let's actually check on the penalty kill once more. 62.6, so it's slowly but surely getting better. Game against the Devils. Here we go. First period, goals by Forss and Marchessault. There you go. Second period, goals by Zucker for the Devils. And third period, the Devils beat us 5-3. Zucker, Hall, and Boucheret with the goals. And Forss with another goal for us. So Forss has definitely been turning it on as of late. Let's keep going here. And one more game before the Olympics start. And before the trade deadline as well, as a result. So let's see here. Game against the Blues, a 6-3 win. Very nice. Marchessault, Silverberg, Veleno, Smith, and Reiko with the goals to seal the 6-3 win for your Vegas Golden Knights. And now we have a very long Olympic break. So as a result, I will simulate up to the trade deadline, see if we want to do anything, but I don't think so, to be honest. The penalty kill got worse, 62.2. But you know what? I don't think there's any fixing our penalty kill at this point. It is what it is, but we are still the best team in the Western Conference, so I don't think there's any need to make any major changes here. So what we're going to do, we're literally just going to simulate up to the trade deadline. Just in case we have any major practice injuries between now and then. Let's say Artemi Panarin gets a 6-month injury from, an MCL sprain in practice or something. That would be absolutely terrible. But I'm pretty sure that won't happen. So we'll get up to the trade deadline. And if nothing happens between now and then, we're just going to simulate up to the end of the year. So let's do that right now. Alright, so we are at the trade deadline, and as I figured, nothing happened, though Valtteri Lappalainen is actually back. He was probably back a while ago. I just kind of forgot, and I didn't see any messages about it. And then Stefan Larsson should be close, so I think we're just going to simulate ahead here, and that is quite the schedule in March. March 1st against the Ducks, March 2nd against the Oilers, March 3rd against the Maple Leafs, and March 4th against the Coyotes. Jesus, NHL. NHL scheduling, man. Oh, man. All right, so, and then Nick Hogg hasn't exactly been impressive, but, you know, I think he's the type of player who I would want to unload at the draft rather than the trade deadline. And everyone else we are keeping on the team for right now. So that'll be about it for this. So let's go through to March 1st, which I will also cut this out as that's going to be another week of simulating with nothing going on. So I will be right back. And we are on March 1st. Player of the month is Patrick Kane. Rookie of the month is Stefan Larsson in 5 games with 6 points. Very nice. Offensive player of the month, Patrick Kane. And defensive player of the month, Torrey Krug. Very nice. So in terms of the Olympics, is there anyone who's on our roster who is still in the Olympics? I don't think the Olympics... Yeah, I think the Olympics are over at this point, so that's good. Let's see the schedule, actually. Can we see the Olympic schedule? I don't think we can, unfortunately. But anyway, one thing I should mention here. For practice, I set penalty kill to 100% just because it's a very, very bad weakness of ours. And I set everyone to defensive skill in terms of practice. I don't care about anything else right now, but our defense is pretty bad. So we need to right that ship for sure. So a 5-2 win against the Ducks. Veleno, Smith, Panarin, and Lappalainen with the goals. That's another thing I should probably show you guys. The tactics, the new lines for the bottom 6 are Lappalainen, Lazaro, Marchessault, and then Teemu Pulkkinen, Forss, and Fasching. I left Pulkkinen and Fasching with Forss because Forss, the last couple of games, has really been clicking with them. 9-8-8, so I'm leaving that line together for right now. And unfortunately, we have a little too many natural centers. I mean, we're deep at center. We just don't have veteran depth at center, like anyone who we can really trust. So that's where our issues at center are coming from. But nonetheless, we do have a lot of natural centers. So we have to play Valtteri Lappalainen on the wing. And that should do it in terms of the changes that we made. Panarin's back on the power play, and yeah, that is about it. Unfortunately, Stefan Larsson was injured earlier, but he is back. And now we're going to have to send someone down, unfortunately. and I don't know exactly who that would be. You know what? Just for right now, I'm going to send down Stefan Larsson down to the AHL, not because he hasn't been doing well. He's been doing fantastic for us, but he's one of the only players who is eligible to be sent down to the AHL at the moment, and he's a rookie who only has 8 games of experience, and he's just coming off his first major NHL injury, so I think this would be more of a conditioning stint in the AHL than anything else, but you can guarantee that Stefan Larsson will be back. He will be back on this roster very soon. It's just for right now. Again, it might even just be for the rest of the regular season until we can get him back on the NHL lineup once the playoffs start, because when the playoffs start, there is no roster limit. But for right now, we had to send someone down, and I didn't want to waive anybody. So he's the guy we're sending down. And again, think of this as more of a conditioning stint for him, just because he was injured a little bit. Career milestone for Veleno, 200th NHL game. Very nice. And yeah. And I wasn't going to send Fours or Lazaro down because they're, Lazaro at this point has been on the team for a couple of years, and I didn't want to send him back down to the AHL unless I had to. Same thing with Fours. He's very accomplished already at the AHL, so I don't feel like he needs any more time down there. And he's already played several games with your Vegas Golden Knights, as opposed to Stefan Larsson, who had only played 8 before his injury. So 4-2 win there for your Vegas Golden Knights. Very nice. And then a 4-1 win for your Vegas Golden Knights over the Coyotes. Looks like those defensive practice changes might be paying off here, as our last couple of games, we have been shutting the door for the most part, besides that game against the Oilers. But 4 games in a row, all back-to-back, and only 1 game where we allowed more than 3 goals, or more than 2 goals, actually. That's pretty impressive. So, unfortunately, our next game is not for another 5 days here, so we're going to have to go a little bit without seeing much action. But you know what? That's a good thing after a back-to-back situation where we had 4 games in a row from March 1st to March 4th. So, you know what? I'll gladly take the rest. The players could probably use it anyway. The conditioning might have gone down between the 1st and the 4th there for them. So this is a good opportunity to rest. And a 4-3 win for the Bruins over the Stars. 4-3 win for the Blues over the Flames. And let's see here. Carlson, world-class talent, I would imagine. And just making sure that everyone else is good here. I don't think we have any injuries at the moment. No, we do not. That is good. That's like the first time all season. I think that we've had no injuries. So let's keep going here until the 10th. A 4-3 win for the Maple Leafs over the Devils. A 4-2 win for the Rangers over the Sabres. All right, March 10th. Here we go. Game against the Ducks coming up. And we have a 4-3 win in overtime. Polkinen, Reiko, Panarin, Smith, and Veleno with the overtime goal against the Anaheim Ducks. Very nice. All right. 42, 16, and 7 on the season are your Vegas Golden Knights. And another game where we didn't allow more than 3 goals. So we're improving. We are definitely improving defensively. Helping out that save percentage of Jim Reimer. Actually, speaking of which, I thought I rotated Reimer out with Domingue. All right, we'll get Domingue in there for a few games. See if he can win a game. Of course not. We lose 5-2. So whenever really we need Reimer in there at all times, but you have to get him in there at some point, or you have to get him out of there at some point rather, to give him a little bit of break. Carlson injured for 10 days with a neck strain. Yikes. New Golden Knights top points from defenseman Torrey Krug. 46 points is a new record from a defenseman, and a new top points from a center. Joe Veleno, 77 points is a new record from a center. My goodness. Breaking his own records here. 4-1 win against the Kings. Very nice. Silverberg, Krug, Silverberg, and Smith with the goals. Veleno with a hat trick of assists. We're looking good. And you know what? That's actually 80 points for Veleno now. And we're only halfway through March. Oh my. And he is now the new top point scorer of all time in a single season for your Vegas Golden Knights. 5-1 win for the Jets over the Kings. A 4-3 win for the Maple Leafs over the Devils once again. Game against the Avalanche coming up here on the 17th. 3-2 win for the Ducks over the Blackhawks, a 5-3 win for the Sharks over the Flames, a 4-3 win for the Canucks over the Senators. Hall is praised. A 4-2 win for the Wild over the Senators, a 4-3 win for the Ducks over the Jets, a 4-1 win for the Sabres over the Canadiens, and read all. Game against the Avalanche, a 5-2 win against them. Lapalainen, Panarin, Timu Polkinen, Lazaro with the goals for your Vegas Golden Knights to make us 44-17-7 on the season so far. It's William Karlsson back, not quite. It was a 10-day injury, so he should be back like March 22nd, March 23rd. Dominguez done pretty well these past couple of games. I'll get him, if he keeps winning, then I will keep him in there because I want to have Jim Reimer rested as much as possible for the playoffs. So a 5-1 win for the Blue Jackets over the Ducks, 5-2 win for the Senators over the Predators. Aiden Thompson is injured. That's not good. He's one of our prospects. He was a first-round draft pick, I believe. A 6-3 win for your Golden Knights over the Bruins. Timu, Miller, Reiko, Panarin, and Reiko for the hat trick. I believe that is his first career hat trick. 2 empty netters. So savage there is Reiko Polkinen with the hat trick for his 12th, 13th, and 14th goals of the season. A 733 average rating. He is doing very well in his sophomore season for your Vegas Golden Knights. More points already than last year, and in less games as well. All right, so a 4-2 win for the Predators over the Flyers, a 5-1 win for the Penguins over the Oilers, 4-3 win for the Avalanche, and then a game against the Coyotes, 3-2 shootout win. Lazaro and Silverberg with the regulation goals, and Panarin and Veleno with the shootout goals. Very nice. 46-17-7 are your Vegas Golden Knights. We're looking very nice. Walter Lapalainen cashes in, career milestone for Marchessault's 500th NHL game. Miller suffers injury with a cut hand. I'm not going to bother with that. Golden Knights qualified for playoffs. Very nice. We knew that. We knew this team would be in the playoffs. It's just a matter of we need to execute in the playoffs is the issue for us. A game against the Kings, 4-2 win. There you go. Lapalainen, Forrest, York, and Panarin with the goals. 47-17-7. A lot of sevens there for first in our conference. Miller resumes practice. Of course he does, from a cut hand. Riley Smith, 67 points is a new record from a right winger. There you go. Very nicely done. 5-1 win for the Bruins over the Canadiens, and a 4-2 win there for some team. I don't know. I didn't see. Karlsson resumes practice, so that's good. We get our second line center back, as we have been second line centerless actually for a few games there. I forgot to replace him with someone. It could have been Carrier, could have been Hyman, but nope, it was no one. We were using 11 forwards and 6 defensemen the entire time, and we were somehow winning games with the Mengen net as well. So we will get Karlsson back in. And Forrest, that's been a good time for you on the power play, but we need to get Karlsson back in there, and we will get Reimer in net, as Domingue has seen enough games as of recent. I mean, he's been pretty successful within that stretch, but I do want to get Reimer some games once again. We will give Reimer one more rest between now and the end of the regular season to get him all rested up for the playoffs, but that will not be any time in March. That will be like towards the last couple of games of April. So the player of the week is Anders Lee. And a 4-3 win for the Capitals. I believe I saw it was going a little fast there. Panthers with a 5-1 win over the Blues. Eichel is praised. And Golden Knights with a 5-3 win over the Kings. Veleno, Panarin, Forrest, Fashing, and Reiko with the goals to put away the Kings 5-3. Very nice. March 28th, we have a game against the Flames on the 29th. Carl Forrest out for 10 days with a twisted knee. That's unfortunate. 7-day IR for you. Career milestone for Krug, 700th NHL game. Reimer, career milestone, 200th career NHL win. Joe Veleno's 83 points. Yeah, we're going to see that a lot now, from now until the end of the season. So Forrest, we will get Zach Hyman back in there. And we will put, I guess, I'm going to put Lapalainen down here on the fourth line center, because Hyman, Polkinen, and Fashing do not take faceoffs, so we got to have a faceoff guy there at all times on the fourth line. Got to make sure that they are contributing well defensively. The only way to do that is win faceoffs. If you don't win those faceoffs, you're not gonna be able to do much. As we lose 4-2 against the Calgary Flames. Goals by Timu and Zach Hyman, but the Flames score 4. And of course, the Flames are 13th in the Western Conference, so we are consistently losing to those bad teams. So that is not a good sign. Colby Verche out for 2 weeks. He's a prospect of ours. That is unfortunate for him. Game against the Stars. Man, we are just struggling against these bad teams, man. York and Veleno with the goals, but Guryanov, Ellie, Tufty, Corvo, and Sagan with the goals for the Stars to put us away 6-2. That is unfortunate. Why do we struggle so much against these bad teams? Contracts expiring. We'll take care of that after the regular season is over. Player of the month is Anders Lee. Rookie of the month is Ryan Savage of the Ducks. Offensive player of the month is Anders Lee. And defensive player of the month is Braden Holtby. Alright, so a 4-3 win for the Oilers over the Ducks. And actually, before we advance any further, yes, the draft rankings. Player of the week is Nikita Kucherov. Board confidence, they are delighted. And we will get the scout back out there one final time. So Barclay Parneda, he was on the NHL entry draft. Let's send him back out. And then Gendron was on Chicago. And Scrivy scouting the Vegas Golden Knights. There you go. And that should do it. There you go. Okay, so game against the Avs. Come on, boys. Here we go. First period. There you go. Goal by Carlson and the goal by Smith, but 3 goals by the Avalanche. And we are down 3-2, and they win 5-3 with goals by Svechnikov and Rantanen. Goal by Panarin as well for us, but I don't know what it is. Why are we sliding these days in April? I'll give Reimer a couple more games, then we'll get Domingue back in. How is the penalty kill doing? 65.9. Okay, so that practice with the penalty kill has definitely made it better. I would imagine. I would hope. I mean, they're at 100%, and everyone's practicing defensive skill right now. Forrest resumes light practice. He should be back soon. A 6-2 win against the Ducks. There you go. Panarin, Reiko, Veleno, Carlson, Silverberg, and Fashing with the goals. One more win until 50. And one more game, I would say, for Reimer until we get him out. And against the Flyers, a 4-2 loss. So, yeah, we'll get Domingue back in there. He was on a winning streak anyway. I probably should have kept him in there, but you had to get Reimer back in there for a couple of games to get him warmed up a little bit. And Lazaro and Smith with the goals for us, but Pavelski, Lawton, Zadina, and Giroux with the goals for the Flyers to put us away 4-2. And yeah, we will get Domingue in there for 3 games, and Reimer back in there for the last game of the season against, I believe it was the Flames that I saw. Yes. So, let's do it. Game against the Lightning, first versus first, and we win in regulation 3-2. Silverberg, Smith, and Lazaro with the goals. Very nice, and we are at 50 wins now on the season, and we have more points than the Lightning, so we are chasing that President's Trophy once again. We didn't win it last year, but we won it, I believe, 2 years in a row, and that is a shootout loss to the Buffalo Sabres. Smith and Reiko with the goals, but Panarin with the only shootout goal for us. But as I was saying about that President's Trophy, 3 and 4 years, not too shabby. But again, what really matters for us is the playoffs. And Forrest is back, so we will get him dressed. And who are we going to scratch for him? I think that would be... You know, I'm actually not sure. Zach Hyman's at his 725. Who do I scratch now? I'll get Lazaro out for right now, just to switch him out with Forrest. Because I do want to get Forrest some time after that injury, but... Wow, that's... all of our forwards have been playing very well. Game against the Sharks on the 11th here. 5-1 win for the Flames over the Ducks. Game against the Sharks, 5-2 win, very nice. Brandstrom, Smith, Panarin, Carlson, and Silverberg with the goals. And final game of the regular season, let's get Reimer back in there. Yeah, all this happening Tactics. Reimer back in. There you go. Game against the Flames. Final game of the regular season. Here we go. And they are 14th. We should not lose this one. And that is going to be a 3-2 win. There you go. In comeback fashion against the Flames. They scored 2, but then we scored 3. Brandstrom, Hyman, and York with the goals to close out the Flames in the final regular season game with a record of 52, 22, and 8 on the season. Penalty kills, 67.6. Quite the improvement from the start of the video. So I would say since then it's been at least 80%, you could say. So pretty good. Pretty good. Definitely been a lot better. So as far as goaltenders going into the playoffs, Domingue's been much better as of recent than he was at the start of the video. But Reimer is still the man in net for us in the playoffs. Defense, I think we're going to keep the way it is. Hogs improved tremendously since the start of the video, and Colin Miller, for whatever reason, this season just did not do too well compared to usual. But you got to give him the benefit of the doubt. And then in terms of forwards, I think it's going to be all these 11 up here, and then one of Carrier, Lazaro, and Forrest will rotate them as necessary. So unless anyone happens to underperform in the playoffs, and we will obviously scratch them if needed. But for right now, this is what we're rolling with, and we are going in the playoffs with this roster. So let's check out the end of the regular season stats here. Joe Veleno with 90. Hold on, let's start by forwards. Joe Veleno with 90 points on the season. I believe that is, yes, that is indeed a career high. 14 more points than last year, 753 average rating. He is an absolute beast for us. Riley Smith with 46 goals. Are you kidding me? What an absolute beast. 777 average rating as well. 80 points for him. Artemi Panarin with 76, 31 goals. Silverberg with 69 and 35 goals. Marchessault with 51 and 23 goals. Teemu Pulkkinen with 46, again, on the fourth line for the most part of this season. So another brilliant season from Teemu Pulkkinen. William Karlsson with a 45-point season. Reiko with 40-point season. So I believe that is much, yes, that is much better than last year. He was at 31 before and -2, and he's now plus 20 on this season. So he got much better defensively. Carl Forsberg with a 39-point rookie campaign. Not too shabby. 676 average rating, could have been a lot better, but he is a rookie. He'll get better defensively, hopefully, as his career goes on. Valtteri Lappalainen with 37 points in his rookie year as well. So him and Carl Forsberg had two pretty solid rookie seasons. Alan Lazaro with 34 points in his sophomore campaign. Better than last season. 683 average rating compared to a 655 in his rookie year. William Carrier with 18 points. Hudson Fasching with 15. And Zach Hyman with 5 in 14. Plus minus, Smith, Veleno, Silverberg, and Panarin led the way. Shots on goal. Smith, Silverberg, Panarin, and Marchessault all had over 200. Shooting percentage, Karlsson, Veleno, Smith, Lazaro, Teemu Pulkkinen, Carl Forsberg, Silverberg, all impressive, all over 14%. And average ratings, Panarin with a 782, Smith with a 777, Silverberg with a 766, Joe Veleno with a 753, Marchessault with a 736, Reiko Pulkkinen with a 733, Valtteri Lappalainen finishes with a 7.3, so that's tremendous for him in his rookie year. Zach Hyman with a 721, good signing late in the season. 717 for Hudson Fasching, 713 for Teemu Pulkkinen, 704 for William Karlsson, 7 for William Carrier, 683 for Alan Lazaro, and a 676 for Carl Forsberg. Defenseman, you have 58 points from Torrey Krug, 761 average rating. Brandstrom, 52 points, so 250 point scorers on the back end. That is tremendous. 748 average rating for him. Cam York with 40-point year, so 3 40-point scorers and 2 50-point scorers on the back end. We have a tremendous defensive core. 729 average rating for him. Shea Theodore with 32 points, 705 average rating. And then Hogg 8 points in 34 games, 691. He got better as the year went on. Todd Corsi with 11 points in 53 games, 687. Colin Miller with a 25-point season in 82 games with a 684 average rating. Not as good as he usually is in terms of the average rating, but you got to give him the benefit of the doubt because he's been solid for us in the past. So, really, in terms of defensemen, I mean, a lot of our points come from the back end. I mean, obviously, you got guys like Veleno and Smith and Panarin and Silverberg up here, but you got to consider that back end that generates so much of our offense. If we didn't have Krug or Brandstrom or York, we would not be as good offensively as we are. And then goaltenders, 711 for James Reimer, 704 for Domingue, 886 save percentage for Reimer, 882 for Domingue. So they're relatively the same, but Reimer's done it in 3 times the amount of games, and he has 36 wins under his belt compared to Domingue's 16. So he will be starting in the playoffs. And that'll be about it for this one. So I'll leave you guys there. And in the next one, we will start the year 5? Yes, year 5 playoffs. See you guys then.